You know, your guy was asking me before, and it's not that he tells jokes. He sees humor in everything. He sees humor in himself. We all feel the best we can possibly feel. This is the creative act of the creation of the universe. Our minds are creating a universe moment by moment.
I said, and they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I looked thinner.
Richard Gere just called Trump a bully and a thug during what was supposed to be a nice little award speech. Imagine getting your Lifetime Achievement Award and deciding, you know what, today's the day I roast the former president. Talk about choosing violence. Meanwhile, Trump's probably having a full-on meltdown right now. You know how he gets when anyone says anything remotely negative about him. And this time, it's coming from Hollywood's most Zen Buddhist. The man who usually preaches peace and love just went full warrior mode on the Orange Menace. Stay tuned to see Trump's predictably unhinged response.
Life is in shock. We're all in shock. It was, you know, the people spoke and they elected this president. And that's a fact.
Trump addresses the nation from the Oval Office, invoking the Insurrection Act and declaring the protesters a danger to American sovereignty.
We feel certain Trump will play his part because he's a good boy. Who's a good boy? Trump's a good boy.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Is this the same Richard Gere who spent decades meditating with monks and rescuing puppies? The man just went full warrior mode on Trump. I mean, imagine Hollywood's favorite Zen master suddenly trading his prayer beads for brass knuckles. That's basically what happened when Gere decided to verbally dropkick the former president at what was supposed to be a nice, boring award ceremony.
Well, that's what I'm doing. They don't know that I'm really somebody else. And someday they'll find out.
Oh my gosh, now we're in for it.
If I did it, you would be standing up in that chair shouting at me. And you know what I'd do? I'd say, you got me.
Still just concepts? Do you have a fully developed plan?
Let me explain. Obamacare stinks. It's lousy.
Picture the scene, a fancy Hollywood shindig with everyone dressed to the nines, sipping overpriced champagne and preparing their I'm so interested faces for what they assumed would be another snooze fest acceptance speech. You know the type. I'd like to thank my agent, my dog walker, and the guy who once held a door open for me in 1997. The usual self-congratulatory Hollywood garbage. But nope, Gentle Richard had other plans. The room full of tuxedos and designer dresses got the shock of their lives when Gere suddenly changed gears from gracious award recipient to political heavyweight. The atmosphere went from relaxed celebration to, oh crap, is this really happening? Faster than Trump can hit the post button on Truth Social. You could practically hear champagne glasses dropping as Gere called Trump a bully and a thug right there on stage.
We all feel the best we can possibly feel. This is the creative act of the creation of the universe. Our minds are creating a universe moment by moment.
Perform sex change operation and send him back home.
Not Jimmy anymore, it's Tamara, but I will.
I know nothing about QAnon. I know nothing about it. I know nothing about the indictment.
I know nothing about WikiLeaks.
I have no idea who these women are.
Talk about a plot twist. The audience reaction was priceless. A sea of famous faces frozen like deer in headlights. Half of them wanting to stand and cheer. The other half frantically looking around for security, wondering if someone was about to tackle Gere mid-speech. Let's be real, this is Richard Gere we're talking about. The guy who's basically a walking meditation app wrapped in cashmere scarves. The man who spent more time in Tibet than most of us have spent in traffic. Suddenly there he was, throwing verbal punches like he'd been secretly training with The Rock. What made this even juicier was the complete unexpectedness of it all. The audience was prepared for humble gratitude and maybe a nice quote about peace and harmony. Instead, they got political fireworks. Gere transformed from calm spiritual guide to fiery activist in seconds, leaving everyone with mental whiplash.
I mean, the worst of it was, a week ago when he decided to completely dismantle and destroy USAID.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
Get a change. I said, And they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I looked thinner.
So what exactly did Hollywood's nicest grandpa say? Beyond the bully and thug comments, Gere went full scorched earth, claiming America is currently in a very dark place thanks to Trump. Pretty spicy stuff from a guy who usually radiates enough calm to tranquilize a rhino. The contrast between his peaceful demeanor and his fiery words made the moment even more dramatic. But wait, there's more. This wasn't just some random celebrity tantrum. Gere came prepared with specific accusations, stating that Trump was actively destroying our country and harmfully conflating refugees with terrorists. The Buddha brought receipts, people. The mix of gasps and applause showed just how divided and tense the room became. The craziest part, turns out our peaceful Buddhist has actually been picking fights with powerful people for decades. This wasn't his first rodeo. Back in 1993, Gere got himself blacklisted from the Oscars after he went off script to call out China's human rights abuses during an award presentation. The man has a long history of turning glamorous award shows into political battlegrounds.
We have evolved as human beings and as a country. But he's not unique, and we see this around the world, that these movements to withdraw.
In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
National abortion ban by executive order. Challenges to his authority are rejected by the Supreme Court, which has seen new appointments from Trump after it was expanded to 12 justices.
What was meant to be a celebration of Gere's career achievements suddenly transformed into a moment of political confrontation. It's like showing up for a nice dinner party and finding out it's actually an intervention. No one saw it coming, especially from Hollywood's most zen celebrity. So while everyone thought Richard Gere was just floating around on a cloud of incense and good vibes for the past few decades, he's actually been a secret badass this whole time. Under all those meditation retreats and humanitarian efforts, beats the heart of someone willing to risk his reputation to stand up for what he believes in. Who knew? So there you have it. The Zen master of Hollywood has thrown down his meditation mat and gone full savage on Trump. And what's Trump's playbook for handling celebrity critiques? If history tells us anything, we're about to witness an all-caps social media meltdown where everyone gets called a loser or pathetic. The internet's already having a field day with this unlikely celebrity beef.
You know, your guy was asking me before, and it's not that he tells jokes. He sees humor in everything. He sees humor in himself.
Create havoc. These are bad people. I know everything they're doing. I know every move they make. I get it. It's tougher. I think it's probably, in many ways, it's tougher on my family than it is in me. But the reason she couldn't stand me is that she always wanted to go to war with people. I don't want to go to war. She wanted to stay in Syria. I took them out.
Memes are spreading faster than Trump's lies, with Gere photoshopped onto the Dalai Lama's body captioned "Inner peace nah, inner clapbacks." Some fans are calling him a soft-spoken savage, while MAGA Nation is predictably triggered. We're literally living in a reality where Pretty Woman's charming businessman is feuding with America's most orange ex-president. Hit that subscribe button if you want more celebrity drama that makes absolutely no sense but somehow feels like the perfect distraction from actual problems.